So we're going to learn through this reading reconnection to our inner self in order to be able to connect outward to others. Okay, we're going to use this spread called the tree. And because I pulled some extra cards, we've got a little bit of a bonus there at the top. I'm not sure if this is all, once it's edited, if everything's going to show up in this frame, but I will show the cards to you as we go. I've got the starting branch here of this tree is where you stand now. And then we use the trunk in order to master an energy to move forward and beyond where we are and develop and grow our soul to the next levels of awareness. Okay. And as it pertains to self-care or, inner needs and nurturing, we're going to see how to proceed here or what to focus on, really. This isn't like it's a template for how to tend to these areas of your soul. It's not a direction or an absolute, right? Some of these things will mean different things for different people. So let's get going. Okay, your starting point, Pisces. Yeah, postponement. This indicates right now to me that for some of you, there are unmet needs. The dreams and desires you have feel very far off in the distance. The outcomes that you're hoping for don't feel near. They don't feel close by to you. But remember, this is a cloud card in the Zen deck. This is a card of the mind. This is a mental card. So your perception of how close or far your desires are, or your outcomes, your perception of that may be different than the reality, than what truly is. And so a perfect way to shift that perception and create the situation or the feeling or the energy that you're desiring is to go within, to start within. And it goes right along with the coral card, the card of nurturing, self-care. Tend to what is within first. Listen to your feelings, okay? Don't listen to your thoughts as much right now. Okay, in the internal influence, and if you're new to my channel, I know I explain this almost every time, all the left-hand side cards here represent internal influences, maybe hidden from others, but that you're aware of, that are supporting this main line of the center cards. And then the right side here, these represent external influences or how things manifest in your day-to-day life. So supporting this feeling of postponement, that what you wish is very far off, is this internal struggle that you may feel that in order to reach whatever this achievement is, whatever this state of being is that you're wishing for, in order to reach that, you feel that you must give something up. You must compromise who you are or hold back a part of yourself in order to make that work. This could be a struggle or a conflict with another person that you're feeling, I'm going to have to give up my principles and my values in order to make peace with this person or something in that kind of a way of being. I'm going to now intuitively say, definitely not the case. Okay. You do not have to now compromise and, compromise of who you truly are deep down inside and your core values is never going to be on the table. That's not what I'm talking about. This may be how you're feeling, but some compromise is always necessary, right? In order to meet someone else where they are or meet someone in the middle and work through issues. Even with yourself, even if you're thinking, I really want to go in this direction. This could be in my career, in my relationships, in, my own spiritual growth. I want to go in this direction, but this is holding me back. A little bit of bending does not ever hurt in that case, but compromising, your core values and who you are, your purpose, what your soul is here to experience, that's never on the table. We don't want to compromise our true selves, because then what are we? Like, really, we will go way off track of our own alignment. In the external position, this "We Are the World" card talks about how we're unified, how we're all one, how we are one energy. And you may find that in order to iron out whatever this internal struggle is, you may have to reach out to another. You may have to, or at least acknowledge that unified energy that we all share, that collective consciousness. You may need to step sort of, reach a little farther for that kind of outward connection. However, I want to reiterate, the first order of business is to align what's going on within you. Get your feelings tuned into, and discover what you learn about yourself as far as what direction to go toward your desire by listening within. Then you can accompany with others, or actually reach out and solicit the help of others or spirit world, because this doesn't just mean humans, right? This is all encompassing energy. So being able to tap into the flow of that energy of one, we want you to sort of clean up what's going on within first, okay? Now, between your mind and what you think you need to do within, we're going to see how we can soften that feeling of I'm not close to where I want to be, and maybe I have to sort of not sell my soul, but maybe I have to really give up part of who I am in order to get there. We're going to learn how to avoid that and still get to where you want to be, still find that alignment. This card, the trunk, is representing the key or the shift to move forward and to get to that next level. And that's traveling. This is a good message. And the first thing I get from this is pull back. When we are so hyper-focused on the one thing we need to make us happy, this is a air quote thing, when we're so, very, very micro-focused on this is what has to happen in order for me to be happy, in order for me to get to that next level, this must occur in my life. There is a calling for you at this time to take a step back and to see the bigger picture. If you look at the card here, this traveling card, it's really showing the whole journey. It's all a much bigger picture. The landscape is much bigger than this one moment that you're feeling needs to right itself in order for you to be happy again, or whatever. I'm not saying you're unhappy. Let me make sure that you all know, and this is a very general reading, when you tap into whatever that energy is that comes to you intuitively when you first hear the reading, or the cards associated with it, when I say it's time to nurture yourself, when you can zero in on exactly what that means for you, then the rest of it will fall into place. I'm not trying to say every one of you has to follow specific instructions in order to get out of this shithole you're in, or whatever. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that in general, if your energy feels out of alignment and you feel unhappy, or that happiness is elusive, it's just beyond your reach, then what you want to do is back off of that focus and see the whole picture. See where you've come from. See where you may be headed, all the possibilities toward where you may be headed. On this card of traveling, you may be way deep down in one of the valleys in the fog at this point, not able to really see the path. But if you pull your perspective back and realize the path is never ending, as far as your soul is concerned, the path is never ending. We will experience peaks. We will experience valleys. We're always moving toward that light. And in the, bigger picture of things, we're always exactly where we need to be. So for your specific needs of gaining this achievement or gaining this state of being, the best thing you can do right now is not head toward it. Pull back, tap within you, and start to gather and align with those universal energies that are telling us this, there are no mistakes. There are no coincidences in life. We are always exactly where we need to be to gain the next lesson, to gain the next wisdom, to grow and ascend and expand. Okay. So this part of the reading is kind of realigning you, asking you to realign, tap within to your inner awareness, and really realize that everything is okay. It always has a way of working out, right? So then next steps are, you may go through some shifts, some real loss, some real sudden, maybe explosive experiences. This could be turmoil within. This could be clashing with another. This could be the way you perceive life in general. Like, oh, I'm starting on this new journey of my expanded spirituality. That means I'm sort of saying goodbye to my past self. I'm saying goodbye to the way I used to do things as I learn and grow and create new experiences. That's okay. This is nothing to be afraid. Loss is part of life. Shedding old beliefs, discovering new ones. It's all part of your journey. That's all part of this path of traveling. Within you, deep within, you may not be willing to let go of some things. This miser card wants everything, all the gems and all the beautiful jewels. This woman wants to hold them close to her chest, not give them away, not share with others, not open up who she is to help others discover more about her. There is a self-protective energy to that. And because it's the internal support of this Thunderbolt card, which it could be very shocking in some cases, it's very understandable that the first inclination is to hang on. Let's not make change. Let's not lose things in order to gain more. Let's just keep things the way they are. That's very, very normal as far as a human response to situations. Now, this could be a physical loss. It could be a breakup. It could be losing a job. But, because of the postponement card being at the center of your reading and the self-care card being the theme, losing that job may be a necessity in order for you to, if you want to change careers or, create something different or start on a new path there, that loss may be necessary. So this is kind of a sticking point, this level here, as far as the growth and the movement forward. However, it's also very human, and I would advise that you take time to appreciate that process as well. Yes, I may need to give some stuff up in order to go forward. I may need to, but not deep compromise. Remember, we don't want to compromise who we are. We may want to compromise some of the things we do or say or the way we relate to others in order to be able to move forward. In your external world, this hanging on and this sort of clinging to what was and not really being willing at this time to make the shift, that could create some feelings of guilt, some real screwy mind energies that you just turn on yourself. You use to tell yourself, oh, I can never get that thing that I want. I can never reach that sort of rainbow world beyond the window because I need to keep things as they are. Everybody's relying on me to stay, centered and as I've always been. So this tier here, it makes sense that this is why I ended up pulling more cards, because this tier is kind of a sticking point that may be in your near future. It could also be coupled with what you're going through now. Like all 6 of these cards could be your present. But I love that we have more cards to see, to find out what goes beyond that. Remember, tending to your feelings, tending to your own needs first. In whatever this situation is that these cards are depicting, that tending to your own needs is the key. That's the key. And it doesn't have to be, I'm going to shut out everyone in my life and hermit and tell everybody to get lost because I have to take care of myself. No, this is a practice. This is an ongoing practice, but always consider, maybe in your daily meditation, pull in and feel and gather that energy in your third chakra area. Gather that energy in where your soul sits and know, I am gaining strength. I am gaining connection to myself, to my deepest self. And then move about and go about your day. You don't have to say, get away from me, I'm taking care of myself. This is a process, but an awareness that we want you to stay on top of through the process of growing and moving past this feeling of, I'm not attaining what I need. I am not where I want to be. Okay? So then, outcomes. Yes, yes, yes. Wow. You got a lot of mind cards today, a lot of mental energy cards for you, Pisces. And what I'm finding is, if I'm looking at this straight line here, we're talking, my needs aren't being met. I really need to pull back and see the big picture. There may be some things I need to let go of, and it may cause sorrow. I may feel emptied as a result of that. I may feel like I long for the past again. That's okay. That's also a very human quality. However, if you look at this internal energies, and this is what's going on within you, and this is what the whole theme of the card is asking you to tend to, the theme of the reading, do not compromise who you are. Careful about the things that you cling to, because letting go and making room in your arms for something new and to be welcomed in could bring about really beautiful shifts, which is the top line of these internal energies here. Is the most beautiful internal shift of all is the card of Beyond Illusion. This is an intuitive based card. You see the intuition, the crown chakra, the third eye chakra is highlighted, and it's a transformative card as depicted by the butterfly. There are shifts going on within you, and the things that you see in your outside world, or the ways that you've always clung to, those ways of being that you've always needed to cling to in the past, are all illusions. That is not connected to who you really are. And that's where the coral card comes in. The coral is an element of the sea. And for Mother Earth, the sea would be equal to her lifeblood, right? This is the core, the beauty of what keeps you regenerating and growing and being able to develop your soul has to do with self-care, has to do with being attuned to what you're feeling in certain situations. I feel that in the end, any conflict or fighting or feelings of stuckness will be released if we can follow some of these awarenesses and really get to, I don't want to say, I'm going to decide, this is the direction I'm going now, but I'm finding really getting to a tendency of what direction to head next. I don't want you to feel like this is all okay. This is cut and dried. I'm going to hang on to my values. I'm going to, cling to what was so that I don't know, things can always stay the same and I never have to change. I don't want you to stay there. This is encouraging you to reach beyond that. And I know you can. Your feelings run deep, Pisces, and tending to your own first will facilitate a beautiful setting for you to be able to connect with others, to realize that, yes, I'm alone in this world, but I am never alone, ever. And the conflicts that I have with another, that's all of my experiences leading up to this point, coupled with all of theirs. And we can we can really never know what is within another unless they're very, very clear and share it, very clearly. But still, there are hidden influences in all of us, things that happened in our past, things that happened, if you believe, in a past life, things that are driving us. And there are always hidden influences that are guiding us. And so being able to just tend to what your needs are now and moving a little bit forward with that, that's going to open up a lot. And don't be afraid of shift and sudden loss or sudden changes, because those, like I said, that's clearing the path for you to allow new energies in. Okay? This might be a little bit of a difficult period for you, Pisces, but knowing the capacity you have to be in touch with what you're feeling, I'm certain you can move through this if it definitely is a difficult time for you. If this is energy that you're trying to just shift within, you got this for sure. You got this. If it involves other people, you still have it, but there may be some, stops and starts along the way. Okay. But it all zeroes back to tend to your feelings first. Do what you need.